Hello, and you're listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and
Joseph K.
And you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Castbox, and Podbeam. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it. Tell your mom about it. And while you're at it, we also have a Facebook page. You Still Going On About That. Again, like it, join it, comment, share it. And thank you and enjoy. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
All right, so just to give a warning, we're recording this episode in a different location today.
Yeah, it's a remote location, so It may be echoey.
Yeah, it's not with the usual spot.
It may be meowy.
Yeah, you might hear a cat in the background, like constantly.
Right, I'm pretty confident I can get this to sound the way it always sounds,
okay.
And it will certainly have fewer
truck stop bathroom.
Yeah,
that's our goal. To make our podcast sound like a truck stop bathroom.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just gonna this is gonna be a quick episode.
Yes.
Or we think we will, but it is cool. You still going on about that?
True.
Who knows how long this will be? But it has to do with the recent or most recent. How would you describe?
Another mass killing.
Yeah.
For lack of there's a mass shooting.
Yeah, there's literally shootings every day.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there's sometimes you've seen the stories where 8 people are killed, 7 people are killed. But the past 2 weeks has been 3 really bad ones. One was like a garlic festival.
Yep, in Gilroy, California.
And they said that they did like research into it, or they realized that the gunmen or whatever, it was race based.
Yes.
And then the second one was in El Paso, and that one was outright, straight up white supremacy.
He wrote a manifesto
that he released right before he did the shooting. He traveled all the way from Garland,
I think it was Allen, Texas.
I think
right?
Garland's the town in Canada.
Okay, right.
Damn it, Bobby.
I think it was Allen, Texas, which is near Frisco.
And he went down to El Paso, which is a border town.
Yep.
And he killed 20. They said, well, I think now it's 22 people.
Right.
We're recording this today's Wednesday. It happened on Sunday.
Sunday evening, I believe. Yeah.
No, that was during.
Oh, that was day, and then over the evening was the next one, the Dayton.
Yeah,
shooting.
or as Trump said, Toledo.
The Toledo. Did you see that people were protesting him when he went to Dayton today? And a lot of people held up signs that said "Welcome to Toledo."
Yeah,
which was kind of funny.
I mean, I just think calling him stupid is too easy.
Yeah, I mean it's
I don't think it's stupidity. It's more of just complete negligence, and
it is. It's his brand.
The most fucked up thing about that whole mistake of saying he does a speech. And he says El Paso, but then he says Toledo instead of Dayton. He was reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah, and it said Dayton on the teleprompter.
So there's either something. I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough. Well, here's the thing: is the Gilroy shooting? There was 4 or 5 people killed. Was it? It was.
Yeah, it was 6 or something.
Okay, but it was, and this is a terrible thing to say. Right, a small child.
Yeah.
But it almost didn't even register as a blip. Like that would have come and gone without much notice.
Yeah.
Because it was only 6 people.
Yeah.
And
which today's standards, I guess, is
it's not. Back in the day, years ago, a shooting of 6 people would have been very big news. It would have been pretty monumental. But I think there's often shootings of 6 people. Now I know there's differences. It's like if you shoot up people at at your relative's house, they don't consider that the same. But 6 it just doesn't cut it anymore apparently.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So 6, that would have come and gone. You wouldn't have heard much about it. You might have heard something on a news station here or there, but then immediately there's the big El Paso one, which was
I mean, that was like a week later, less than a week later, or a week later.
Yeah.
And again, but it made the garlic one even bigger because it's like, okay, here's another white supremacist domestic terrorism incident. And this was at a Walmart in a mall or something like that?
It was at a Walmart, and it was an El Paso Walmart, and he said he went there, a lot of news reports said he went there because he heard it was in like a Latino part of town, or there's some...
okay, so what happened in May? Or I mean, it doesn't even matter. We have a race-baiting president.
Yes.
We have a president that runs... I love... I was listening to a radio show and someone called in and was trying to play up that Trump wasn't racist. It was a Trump supporter.
Sure.
And it was mind-bending. The host, I give the host so much credit for not going off on this woman completely.
Yeah.
And he's like, what did he say to her? He goes, okay, so I'm supposed to say, you're supposed to, he was a Mexican.
Sure.
Host,
Oh, okay.
Because it was all about what he said when he first became president, which was all Mexicans are rape. Not all, and then he said, not all of them. That was his line. And he goes, well, that's how we took it. How are we not supposed to take that?
Right.
I could say, as a Trump supporter, then wouldn't I just assume that all Trump supporters are racist?
Yeah, all you have to, this is a real easy one. This is a softball. All you have to do is substitute whatever group you belong to for Mexicans or whatever, and think of how you would feel.
It's all about the other.
If you're a Christian, just read what he said about Mexicans and put the word Christian in where it says Mexican.
Yeah.
Or if you're a
Jedi.
Or a Jedi, whatever you are. You're a
furry.
A pickleball player.
A
furry, yeah.
Yeah, furry.
You just swap out whatever word for Mexican is. And I'll tell you, I don't want to go way down this rabbit hole, but I would almost believe that Trump isn't necessarily racist as a core conviction. I think he's just kind of a lazy racist because he found that being racist...
It's an easy way to chin up people, make them angry. It's
now,
low-hanging fruit, as I used to hear, and whenever we would work on something in my job.
Well, the only thing that betrays that is that when he was in real estate back in New York in the 70s, he was straight out racist.
Well, also his wanting to put 5 boys to death.
The Central Park 5.
And to this day, he still thinks they're guilty, even though
it's stunning. Yeah.
There's scientific evidence, but scientific evidence has never stopped this man.
No. Well, yeah.
So
science.
He had a rally. His rallies are always they're these toxic events that happen, and they push something. So in the last rally, or the last big one at least, he was pushing the whole send them back thing, which was in regard to 4
the squad.
The squad.
Yeah.
The 4 minority women, congresswomen. 3 of them are born here, and 1 naturalized citizen.
She came when she was 8 or something.
It's a very stupid, ridiculous thing to say. But he did say something about illegals or something, or migrants, whatever you want to call it. And someone yelled in the crowd, "We shoot him!"
Right, and he kind of laughed.
There was a big laugh, and then he said, "Only the panhandle to get away from it."
Right, yeah.
And so he didn't condemn it at all, or go, "Oh, whoa, wait."
No, there's a real disconnect, and
he doesn't hide the fact he is trying to start. He's literally starting a race war.
Well, yeah. Look, there's absolutely an undercurrent of violence in his rhetoric and in his rallies, and whether it's glamorizing beating people up, or hey, if I remember how we used to take care of people like that back in the day.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And there's always been this...
Well, when he says he's got to pay for it, he doesn't pay for it.
Right, yeah. There's always a glamorization of violence, and he's never participated in it himself, because of his tiny little hands.
Right.
And his aversion to anything dangerous.
Well, he did do wrestling, though.
Well, yeah.
He was at a wrestling event.
Right, well,
they doctored that footage and replaced it with CNN.
Woof. Gosh.
Well, that's the thing too. It's I think that's another reason he does this is because he took what he learned from doing all that WWF stuff, how to chin up the crowd and make them go crazy. And I would say that I followed wrestling for years. I've been to wrestling events.
Yeah.
I watched some Trump rallies or seen some. I've seen some behind the scenes footage in a documentary. there is no difference between a WWE event and a Trump rally.
Yeah.
And that's not an insult to WWE events. It's just a fucking fact.
Yeah.
Like, but the one event is like, made up characters, and the other one's wrestling.
Yeah, it's right. Well, one involves nuclear weapons, and
yeah. I mean, it's disgusting.
Well,
and he knows what he's doing. And even today, he gave like a speech. He always does these like tarmac, like
right, yeah,
shitty. Like the press needs to stop asking him questions of these because it's not a real press conference.
No.
And he's yelling over a helicopter. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
And he just gets his like shitty talking points
It
across.
like.
And he was doing the whole both sides do it again shit like he did with Charlottesville, where because he was trying to bring up the Dayton, Ohio one,
right?
And the right's trying to frame that the shooter in Dayton, Ohio, that happened late that night, or I guess early that morning, you would call it.
Yeah.
The same day as El Paso. They don't know what the guy's motive was. He killed his brother and sister, and he killed a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, anytime it's something like that, my guess is that it's some sort of mental illness.
Now, here's the thing, though. I hate when I hear people on the right say things about
illness. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, but the reason why I agree. I think if you're a Trump supporter at this point, you're mentally ill.
Yeah.
But that's a different subject. They don't. The Republicans use that as a talking point. But they don't support mental health care.
Yeah.
They don't support health care.
Well, and
why would they?
Right.
It's a bullshit statement. They're not going to do anything to prevent. They're not going to do anything to like. Yeah, I think everyone should be able to have mental health care. I think everyone should have eye care and dental care.
Right. Yeah. You should just be able to go down and get it.
And they do everything they can to make sure people don't get any of that. So that's a bullshit statement. It's just but they're trying to frame it that this guy was like left leaning and all that. And it was just like, first of all, the difference between the right and the left, or I'm not even going to say the right or the left. I'm going to say the difference between gun nuts and people who aren't gun nuts. And when I say gun nut, I mean it's somebody whose brain, when your first inclination after a massacre is to protect the gun and not to have empathy for the people that died. You're a psychopath. Like I mean, I don't know what words to say it. Like,
it's a real weird thing because I know, it's a weird thing. Like I always hear like we're at an inflection point, and they said that after Sandy Hook. That was supposed.
After Sandy Hook. If you didn't, I mean, after freaking Columbine,
right, or the Pulse shooting. I mean,
Sandy Hook was earlier than Pulse.
Yeah, well, okay. So there was Columbine. If I'm like making,
there's been a whole bunch in between Columbine and Sandy Hook. But Sandy Hook, the fact that it was tiny little children, that was the threshold. Right. And if you couldn't, and the fucked up thing was, what did the right do?
Yeah, the crisis actors.
They jumped on it, and I've heard people. It wasn't just Alex Jones. That was talking points used by all the right. They were really pushing that this shit didn't happen. It was all fake. That's so insane and fucked up.
The way the Senate works is that you really do need all hands on deck when you're going for a vote. A defection of one or two senators can kind of throw everything out of kilter. And the NRA knows that. Yeah. And Russia knows that. And that's why you have...
The NRA is...
Yep, the NRA
funded by Russia.
It is. And look, it's basically in the Senate, Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz are just bathing in filthy, bloodied up cash from the NRA that they got
Mitch
from
McConnell will reject any votes from happening. There was two bills that I always love. They're going to try to frame it, the Democrat-run Congress as a do-nothing Congress, and that's complete bullshit. They passed tons of bills. Mitch McConnell blocks everything when it comes to the Senate, and he's going to make sure nothing gets... And we're not even talking about a vote. He makes sure there's no votes.
Yeah.
That's how much power... I feel like these houses... Honestly, they need to.
Well,
these Speaker of the House and the Speaker of the Senate, they need to abolish those rules.
I don't know about that, but
the power level though is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, they're
like more powerful than the president in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about if you like the side who's running it. I mean, of course, if someone was left leaning right now, I'd probably be like, yeah,
sure, right.
But I'm just amazed how much power these people have.
Well, the thing is that the it's almost like the groups like the NRA or other groups, they figured out how to game the system. Really they have. And they figure like, look, if we get Mitch McConnell in our pocket and we get Ted Cruz in our pocket and maybe one other senator,
but the thing is,
we got it.
I think the NRA is the Republican Party. There's not. I don't see them as a separate entity. I don't see the Fox News as a separate entity.
Right.
To me, all three of them are one thing. They're just different arms of the same monster.
But it's like a Venn diagram because you have a group of that. It's like they've come to sort of some sort of agreement because you have a group of that conglomeration that is just all about the tax cuts.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay any taxes. They want other people's taxes to pay for the infrastructure they need to sell people stuff.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay a dime toward it. They want like me and you and the guy down the street to build Interstate 75, and they want us to pay to drive on it, and then they want to be able to drive on it free through some sort of special program they get through a privatized company that runs the toll road now.
Yep.
So there's that group, and they don't give a fuck about guns or abortion or this, that, or whatever. They really don't. But they're in bed with that group that doesn't really care about tax cuts.
My whole thing is if you're voting on that, you're part of it.
Oh yeah, well they're all three.
Then you have no problem with it.
Yeah, there's the generally, but now we've seen this bleed over. It used to be that the pro-life people that were despeately anti-abortion.
Where are these pro-life people? When
yeah, right. Well, that's a good question. Well, they've just framed it in the terms of like. The gun that's going to protect the life. That's their. Yeah.
If this thing's not videotaping, my eyes roll all in the back of my head, and hold on. Okay, they're back.
Yeah.
Okay. So go back to the thing that a lot of right wingers are trying to push now. Trump was pushing it today, which just shows you what a piece of shit he is when they try to like do the both sides do it thing. Instead, I mean, it's like. The difference is, okay, let's say this guy was the Dayton shooter.
Right.
It was a left wing.
Sure.
Bernie support. Let's say he is this, whatever they want to push. It's a stupid argument to make, though. Because people on the left and people who are not gun nuts want to, regardless of what belief this person had, he's a murderer.
Yeah.
Or she's a murderer, or whoever it is. It's usually a he, and it's usually a white dude.
Right.
I know sometimes they're different colors. But
it's like 99%, though.
It seems like it's been a lot. We want to fix the problem.
Right.
We don't want to exasperate the problem. We're not going to sit there. We don't go, he was a Bernie supporter. Boys will be boys.
Right. Exactly.
We don't
That's
do that.
locker room gunfire.
Yeah, that's locker room gunfire. Yeah, we don't do that. We want this problem fixed. We want it solved. I mean, I post a lot of political art.
Oh yeah.
I didn't make new art because it happens all the time. I have some pieces that I've done.
Sure.
And I just post them because it's like.
Oh, you're talking about the comic strip you did?
No, that was new.
Okay.
That was a joke.
That was good.
A second. No, the other one's just the two fingers up says thoughts and prayers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's two hands flipping the bird with thoughts and prayers written on the middle fingers.
Yes.
And the end and the center. I post that every time there's some major event, just because I know. And then I get some people who are like, some people. I don't know. Everyone's got to be a dick, or they got to try to find a way to attack me or something, which is fine. I don't care. I wouldn't be posting it if I didn't expect some blowback.
Sure.
I get the one thing I see though is all the regurgitated right wing talking points.
Yeah.
Where they say things like laws aren't going to stop gun shootings, the laws aren't going to
help. But they do.
It's complete horseshit.
In the other 300 countries on the planet,
it's complete bullshit. First of all, we had a
assault rifle ban.
And the assault rifle ban wasn't that the Brady bill?
I believe it was separate, although I could be wrong. The Brady bill was right after Reagan was shot.
Yeah, and the guy was shot.
Yep.
Reagan. He was a Republican.
Yeah,
and he pushed it through. Took him years to do it. And then, is that still enacted at all?
No, I don't think. I don't think that was ever. I feel bad.
I feel like these laws. We know the assault rifle ban.
Yes.
That sunset under Bush. Bush lied. Right. George W. Bush.
Yes.
Still to this day the worst president ever.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Trump's horrible. But if Trump doesn't get a second term,
okay, fair enough.
Then Bush will still be the worst president ever.
Yeah.
Because it all started with him. Well, you could say it started with Reagan. You could say it
Yeah.
started with Nixon. I mean, you could go back in time and say it
Andrew
started
Johnson
with Gornock,
Right.
Lord of the Cave People. I didn't like his policies either. But Bush led a major law sunset, the assault rifle ban.
Yeah.
And you could just look at the time span and yes, we had Columbine 99.
Sure.
And there were some other, but the escalation goes up and up and up over like a 5-10 year period where you start seeing.
Oh, yeah.
You get Sandy Hook, and then it just becomes this weekly event, and now you're seeing to the point where it's just like you can't go anywhere.
Well, look, that makes perfect sense because any of the laws we've had over the last 50 years or so, they've had that similar effect. It's like there was a whole bunch of people dying in car accidents, and then they mandated seatbelts, and then within 30 years, all the cars on the road had seatbelts, and we had far fewer people dying.
Yeah.
And the same thing with
And it
cigarettes.
takes years.
Yeah. It's like
People don't get that.
Right.
These laws. And the thing is, people don't understand. Okay, let's say we get the assault rifle ban back up.
Yeah.
It's going to take many years for it to go into effect. But within a 10-year period, if they were able to do a study, which the NRA prevents,
Right.
that should be a big tell right there. People knew that the NRA actively prevents people in government
Well-
from doing a actual study.
They prevented that in Florida. And this happened when my wife and I had our daughter. And the NRA went into Florida. And it was through that lobbying organization that kind of does petitions for people like the NRA. I think it's not called FAIR. It's not some lobbying organization. And they prevented doctors from asking parents if they had a gun in the home. Because for years...
Yeah, protect that gun.
Well, look, a lot of kids accidentally shoot themselves or their siblings.
I remember that ad when I was
Right.
a kid, when the two friends are
Yes.
playing at home, and then the one accidentally shoots the other one.
It happens. If you read the papers...
That ad
or-
would never air today.
No.
They would never let that air.
But it used to be that the doctor would say, like, hey, do you have lead paint? Or, hey, do you have a swimming pool? You should teach your kid how to doggy paddle or stuff like that. And one of the questions is, hey, do you have a handgun? You keep that locked up? Or, and the doctor, that would just be part of the routine questions the doctor asked. Shortly before we had our daughter, the NRA got Florida to outlaw doctors from asking that question. And the reason was it made gun owners feel uncomfortable that the doctor would ask them about their gun. Now that's how pernicious this is. It seeps into every aspect of life. And so now you have people having kids, and maybe they're 18 or 19, and they've never really considered politics or this, that, or whatever. And a medical professional is saying, hey, here's a public health issue, which guns are. Here's a health issue that you may want to be aware of, A half dozen kids in this town alone were killed by gunfire in the last, 2 years, and it was from unlocked handguns. Maybe you should lock it up, but the NRA can't even talk about it.
Yeah, it's fucked up. My brother tweeted this thing the other day. A company that sells bulletproof backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, if the company's providing a service, whatever, I mean, it's still... That's insane. That's ridiculous.
I'm calling bullshit on that because it probably won't help you.
No, of course not.
If
That's
someone's
stupid.
spraying your cafeteria with automatic rifle fire,
Unless you're covered in hundreds of
right?
bulletproof backpacks.
What is it going to catch you on the way from the bus to the building, and then like only 3 inches of your back or something? I mean, it's a cash grab.
Yeah, of course it is. It's
playing
playing on people's fears.
Yes. You're selling them.
You're selling fear, just like everything. Just like Trump's selling fear, you're selling fear.
It'd be like going into the Titanic and selling people one water wing, for $500.
Yeah,
and
one water wing.
Here's one water wing.
Yeah.
This is going to help you out. Should
Maybe.
we go down? Probably never happen. The ship's unsinkable.
Right.
But I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah, no, it is complete bullshit. So, like I said, there's going to be a lot of... This isn't going to end. Somebody said if you think it's bad now, and I've said this before in the podcast, wait till when it gets closer to Trump's 2020,
right?
The year 2020, which we're almost there.
We're almost there, yeah.
And I can't even imagine what the hell is going to happen in this country. It's scary.
Yeah. Well. If he's ahead or if he's behind, or if he's neck and neck, it doesn't matter. That's what I was going to say.
The thing is, he's made no attempt See, he won by not winning.
Yeah, yeah.
So he knows that all he has to get is 40% of the country to support him.
Well, in his head, he needs to run up the score.
He needs to basically maintain what he had to win.
Yeah.
Just maintain it. And I can't imagine that everyone that... There's got to be at least 5% of the people that voted for him that are like, fuck.
Yeah, and do you think he's brought any people aboard?
No, I can't imagine. I mean, unless they're insane. I just... And I could be wrong. Again, I'm speaking on what I believe. But if you asked like 100... They did a poll and asked 100 Hillary voters, let's say.
Right.
People who voted for Hillary Clinton, or just people who didn't vote for him. And I mean, voters, not people who didn't vote. Yes, people who voted. And they didn't vote for him. I can't even imagine 1 out of 100 would say, "Oh yeah, I'd vote for him."
Yeah,
unless they're a blithering idiot,
or unless they benefited so uniquely from some weird program, you know. And that's how he would do it. Is he'd go into like they'd hire Cambridge Analytica or some data company.
Well, I'm not saying him though. He can't.
Oh right, but they would
independent.
Yeah, they would come in and say like, "Look, all you have to do is save this chicken processing plant in East Bumblebee, Kentucky, and you can carry that suburb of Bowling Green or whatever." And
I know.
I mean, that's how they would do it. That's how a smart person would do it. And Trump's not smart, and his advisors aren't smart, but they hire smart people.
Yeah.
You know, they do. And that's like that Brittany Kaiser.
Yeah.
Probably a genius and someone without like a real finely attuned moral compass. They'll find her, you know, and put her to work, and she'll say, "Hey, this is simple. All you got to do is target District 4 in the outer ring of Chicago, and you'll take Illinois." And then the next thing you know,
you just target the fuck out of that area.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do. It's fucked up. I don't know. It's So my favorite was. We'll wrap this up. It's like, again, the Republicans will never accept the gun as the problem. They come up with everything.
Right.
But they were dipping into the classics. My favorite classic they dipped into was the video game one.
Oh,
which is Super 1999.
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't bring Marilyn Manson back.
Dungeons and Dragons. That's a big cause of...
What's that band, Rammstein? I'm surprised they didn't bring up Marilyn Manson.
Right.
But Trump said video games.
Yeah.
And my God, I lost it when I started seeing all the online video game. There's a lot of YouTube personalities that are usually they're very right wing leaning, but they're also like they play video games.
They're Twitch players.
And a lot of them are like a lot of these dudes are right wingers.
Yes.
And they lost their fucking mind over it. They couldn't believe it. They felt betrayed. But they're gonna vote for him regardless.
Oh yeah.
Like the guy, I watched one guy just like cracking up. And I accidentally watched him talking about Star Wars once, so of course it shows up in my YouTube feed. And I was like, I gotta watch this because this guy's a total right winger. And he was just like losing. He's like, I'm a Trump supporter, and you know, I was really betrayed by this. And I'm like, first of all, he's a Republican.
Yeah.
And he's working on a Republican agenda. That's what they do.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's just funny how like these like gamer culture people, like some of them like.
They pivoted from that pretty quickly. Like, they must have gotten a memo in the morning because there's a whole bunch of people talking about video games being the cause of this.
Yeah.
And it was clearly like some talking point.
But it's a time waster. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They just
got to run out the clock.
Outlaw video games. They're just trying to run out the clock until they're trying to suck the oxygen out of the room so the conversation's not about guns. They'll literally say anything to avoid the conversation. So I made a little comic. I had that neckbeard guy time where he starts off and he says like, laws won't protect. And then Trump pops in, and I just copied and pasted what he said.
Yeah,
it was about guns, and it's like clearly this was scripted. He didn't say this,
right? Because it's coherent.
Yeah.
So, right.
And then like the neckbeard guy's like eyes bulge out and his mouth. He's like, oh, and then he has like a moment of reflection where he thinks about his life, and like, he's like, is this man like is he a liar? Am I just realizing this? Does he play into my worst impulses and behaviors? Maybe I could become a better person now.
Yeah.
And then
it was really funny.
And then Trump pops back in again. And he goes, "Listen, don't fret, my grist friend. This is
I
just,
like too. He spelled peon with like the P-E-E. Like
I think I clearly spelled it wrong.
oh no, I
That's
thought that
fine.
was like a play on,
sure.
Trump's P.
Sure thing.
Trump's P tape. Like,
Yeah, of course. Yes, exactly.
well, anyway.
And thank you.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
was
I was
like,
doing.
that's some depth of comedy right there.
I was totally doing that. In because I can't spell.
Well, you gotta look at the visual because like Trump's coming from
just go on my page at Rob Israel. It's on there. It's 7 panels. So then he says, like, listen, this is a distraction. I don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. No one's gonna care what I say a week from now. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, and remember, MAGA.
MAGA.
And the guy's like, his eyes bulge out again, and he's like, ah! He's like so excited. And then the next panel, he's like, I'm gonna own the libs.
Right.
And he says, like, and I will continue to divide the country, crash the economy.
It was good.
Destroy international laws as per my boss Putin. See you at the next massacre.
Oh God. Do you remember when the Gulf War was going on, that guy who wrote Get Your War On? Do you remember that comic strip, Get Your War On?
I do remember. It sounds familiar.
It was really good. He only did 3 comic strips. He did My New Fighting Technique is Unstoppable, and that was just very funny, kind of like office humor. Yeah. And then he did Get Your War On.
Was it the one with the 2 guys talking?
Yeah, it was all
office?
clip art. Yeah.
It was just the 2 guys and they'd be talking. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, those were great.
Those were fantastic.
Yeah.
But then he did a follow-up that, look, it was really clever, but it was like, I don't know, it didn't go anywhere, but it was called like The Confessions of St. Augustine the Bear. And the comic you did...
If you hear some dogs barking in the background, they're just letting you know.
They're piping in. But it reminded me a little bit of that, like the mixing of like real text in with comic, the comic sensibility. It was good.
Well, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. I don't know. It's a weird episode.
It is. It's a weird time, though. I mean,
everything. Again, I can't even imagine. I mean, we're not going to probably put this out for like a week, and who the fuck knows what's happening within this week?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we'll see what happens.
Well, I don't like to get real serious often. I mean, this is obviously a super serious topic, but you wonder how many people are having the same conversation.
Well, there's people I know who moved, they lived in that country, and then they moved. Now they think about moving back to that country.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And, like their kids were born in this other country. They have great gun laws there. They don't have this problem we have. I just think it's like, we just have people in this country that are, it's like guns as a religion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's like everything that they're about.
It's like Zardoz. Remember that movie with Sean Connery?
I never saw it, but I know what you're talking about. He has like a weird outfit. He rides a head.
Yeah, and the head drops guns into the field and all.
I have to rewatch it.
Yeah,
yeah. I just like it's just batshit nuts. People are. It's just like I said. If your if the first thing that pops in your brain is, especially after you see like 12 people were killed or 20 people killed or even 2 people killed. And someone's saying, hey, listen, we're not trying to take guns away. We just think, especially because most of these killings are usually with AR-15s or,
right.
What's the other one?
I don't know. I mean, I know
semi-automatic rifles. I mean, if that's your first inclination is to, like, say, what about vans?
Right.
Or what about knives? There's something fucking wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to say that. So when people say the mental illness thing, you know what? Maybe you need to get checked out.
Well, yeah,
because there's something unempathetic about you. Like, it's like the joke too in my comic was the guy was wearing a shirt that said "Facts have no feelings,"
right?
Which is like the Ben Shapiro line. That statement is such a douchebag statement to say. It's like I get it, but what facts are you talking about?
Right.
It's a bullying technique, and you're also, we are still people. We still have feelings. Some people still have feelings, and they, when they say something like, and the NRA uses this talking point, "Oh, you're being emotional."
Yeah.
How are you not supposed to react?
Well, that's like the gaslighting.
You're human. You should react. You should say this is wrong. You should say, "I want this gone."
Yeah.
If your argument is to say, "Oh, you're using emotions," I mean, the solution is really not that difficult. The solution is not that difficult.
Yeah.
You just outlaw those machine guns, and that's it. And then it's going to be rocky, but within a 10-year period.
Within 10, 20 years, yeah.
Facts that have no feelings, that you claim you care about, those facts. Guess what? Those facts will be there.
Yeah.
And you'll realize, oh.
Well, they did a study not too long ago where they looked at how long it would take if they outlawed the manufacture of new weapons and just kept existing weapons with who had them, you know, and it was like 10, 20, 30 years or so, but eventually the parts would break down and new collectors wouldn't be able to get them readily. You could keep your assault rifle collection and pass it on to your kids.
I mean, it's just a collection.
Sure.
You know, like people collect like dolls, trinkets, or anything else. Fine.
Yeah.
I think there's an art to it. I went to the Met and they had like ancient guns from like 200 years ago. They were beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't say like, oh my God, I'm repulsed by this. There's some art. I mean, this is artwork though. This isn't just like a machine gun you could buy at Walmart for like $100. This was like, these are obviously well crafted, artistic. Like they're not meant to be killing anything in a way. They're just like, but yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous. What do you need those for?
Yeah.
Like I have this one guy comes on my page, I'm not gonna say his name, and he says all these things, and he's calling this bullshit. And I said to him, I just left the comment. I said, "You paranoid fuck.
Yeah.
What do you need these for?
Well, it's like that guy.
Where are you living?
It's like that guy on Twitter that said, like, why are you going to take my assault rifle? What if 30 to 40 feral hogs come into my...
Oh, that's where that came from. I was wondering what that mean. I didn't know if people were repeating that.
Some guy, after this happened...
It was 30 to 50 hogs.
Yeah, he said, what if 30 to 50 hogs descend on my front yard within 5 minutes and attack my children? How am I supposed to protect them? And it was just like such a bizarre thing. And like, actually, it became a meme and something very talked about. And then you had like hog experts come on there and say, now look, feral hogs are a legitimate thing to be concerned about. You know, they're very, more people are killed by feral hogs than sharks each year, apparently.
And the number of sharks, the thing with sharks is it's not that high.
It's very small. But they all uniformly said, look, if you had 30 to 40 hogs rush your property and you fired a single shot, they would scatter. Right?
Yeah,
and you would
sit there and keep running. They're not zombies.
It's not like a video game, you know, where you can like and
they would literally scatter.
Yeah,
you might have to shoot one or two more.
They said that that's probably the worst thing you could do. That clearly the answer is to retrieve your child and go inside. Like
Wait. You let your children stand there and you just spray bullets everywhere?
Yeah.
Instead of the rational thing, which is... Because hogs, as far as I remember, they don't have hands. They don't know how to open doors.
Right. They're like Daleks in that way. You know, the Doctor Who aliens that can't navigate stairs.
Right. At that point, you have nothing to worry about. That's I like that. That's a rational thing.
Yes.
Pick up your child, go in the house,
go inside,
close the door.
Well,
And you know what? Stay up for the night.
Yeah, call it a day.
Yeah, call it a day.
There's 40 feral hogs in your yard because you got bigger fish to fry. So yeah, I guess I'll leave this at this. I grew up around guns. We lived in rural New Jersey when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My dad had a hunting rifle and he did have a handgun. And I remember, you know, he would show them to me, and then I didn't know where he kept them, and that was probably for the best. I don't necessarily have anything against guns. My wife and I were talking about this. Like, when you live in a community, you kind of give up that, you know, the need to have guns.
Well, I always thought Obama made a good point when he was running for president.
It
was just a nice middle ground point. He said, listen, people in the rural area, or people who claim this is a tool, this is something they need to survive as a family, they only eat a strict diet of venison or whatever it is, you know, whatever they say. Understand that your needs for weapons, but you need to also address the fact that people in more condensed city locations, having access to weapons can be a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
So if you can, I will accept that in where you live, 20 minutes apart from each other in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Sure.
Where you could bred your militia or whatever you need to do.
If you live in feral hog infested, bug tussle, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'm not even talking like that's not even a fair statement to say, but like, yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Fine. But, just understand that maybe in like communities that have more than 20,000 people living there,
Yeah.
it's probably better to have stricter gun laws.
Right. Well, like, have whatever you want, I suppose, but like, register it, pass a background
Yeah,
check.
I don't understand why you can't. If you have to have a license to drive, you should have a license to have a gun. I don't understand. These are like, and there's a lot of gun owners who believe that. That's the one thing I'm like, I appreciate those ones. I like I said, people. I just got to the point now where I just say in my page, take them all away, because it's like you're not meeting me in the middle. There is no middle.
Right.
You won't even give up anything. Literally nothing.
If they're at a 10, you can't start your conversation at a 5.
Right.
Because you'll wind up at a 7 at
7?
best.
Not even. They're not even letting you at 7. I wish we could get to 7.
You got to start at 1. That's where you have to start.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
well, it's like what the right does when they put out people and they claim that the guy's a moderate. For years, they claimed Bill O'Reilly was a moderate, and his role was to keep pushing moderates to the right. So that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
When someone says someone's a moderate, I'm like, what? Because they're not fucking a Nazi or they're not a Trump supporter. That doesn't make you a moderate. It's just like,
well, that's where I'm at. Is that handguns and rifles and
I don't want them anywhere near them. Like, I don't want my kid in the house when someone has them. Like, I don't like that. But what I'm saying though is like, if that's your impulse, if you can't even accept any type of restrictions whatsoever, then I don't know what to say.
Well,
it's like,
and all of that's kind of theoretical, because we're at the point now where this faction doesn't want doctors to talk to people about gun safety at home.
Do you know they had to get
like
El Paso? They had to get Army medics to come and help and assist.
It's because they're using Army rifles,
right? So like doctors were like, I can't sew a lemon-sized hole on somebody.
Yeah, it's bananas. I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I'm real curious to see. I'll tell you this. When I reposted, I don't often repost a lot of these, just because, like, my personal Instagram, I usually just kids and family and stuff. But I reposted your thoughts and prayers one, the middle fingers. And I recently reposted the Gloria Steinem quote, where she was basically saying, let's make guns as difficult to get as abortions. And I got a lot of my former students, which are young kids, follow me on my page. And universally, they liked it.
I think that there's going to be a big backlash. I think and the fact is, it's like it's getting to the point where it's like these people are just going to fucking Walmart to get milk or something.
Yeah.
To get something. If you can't live your fucking life on a regular basis, I mean, it's getting to the point you can't go to the movies, you can't go to a concert, you can't go
we've
to any of these
that.
fucking places, and now you can't even go to a store without some ginned up lunatic. And I'm not talking lone wolf. I will say this: progress is happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They are treating this as a terrorist event. It is treated as a hate crime, what happened in Texas.
Yes.
That's a big fucking deal.
It is.
When people say, I always hate when people say, I can't stand when people say something like, aren't all crimes hate crimes? Like, no. That's not.
No.
It's calling to attention something. It's like, this guy specifically targeted people of certain race, nationality, or whatever it is.
And they were strangers that had no interaction with them beforehand. There's a long list of criteria that you can... Yeah.
Did you see that family that went to a baseball game in Texas? It was at
I heard about this
at the Ranger Stadium.
Yes.
It was a Mexican family, and there was this guy behind them basically harassing them the whole time. They had to leave like halfway through the game. He was like... giving them the middle they were trying to take a family photo, and he's giving the middle finger in it, and he was harassing him. He was having his little kid harass him.
Yeah.
Good parenting there, teaching your kids to be a bigot.
That's the danger when you have people in power.
Do you think the stadium should be held liable for that?
If they were aware of it and didn't do anything about it, sure.
I mean, I know these people were probably scared and don't want to say anything, but I would just...
Well, like, that's my short answer is, like, if an usher saw it and just sort of looked the other way, they're liable.
Yeah.
If the family reported it and
they did nothing
about it, they're liable. But, like, do they need to monitor 60,000? I don't know how many people were there, but do they need to monitor like 15, 20,000 people. They can't, but they have. You see that occasionally, like in European soccer leagues. Like there's a virulent form of racism that's prominent in European soccer. Though people from players from Africa come up and they get racially taunted and whatnot. And FIFA and a few other organizations have really cracked down on that. They said you can't come to the stadium anymore. They have it. Yeah, I mean it's right. The least they can do. It's not even.
Well, these people paid money to be there and to enjoy the game. It's not cheap. It's I know this is steering away.
Yeah,
but it's not because it's all racial and this is all I feel like it's the same culture. Like that guy who was being a racist to them. It's I mean.
Yeah, I wonder if
the fucked up thing is you could tell that guy probably thought he was being a hero.
I wonder, I don't think the gun. That's another thing I think the right has done is they've made it racist or racial because handgun or gun violence. It didn't always used to be immediately this is a race
thing. Do you remember when the NRA was for gun control?
Oh yeah, the Black Panther,
yep.
Right? Yeah,
you don't want the only time they were into gun control. You need to get that going again.
Right. Well, that's it. You rarely see the NRA going into inner city Chicago and saying we need to get. Well, maybe I don't know. Who the hell knows?
I just think there's going to be a huge backlash. People don't want to live like this.
Yeah.
The more it affects people's lives, the more it keeps happening. And if you can't live your life the way you want to, and I mean live.
Right. Yeah, literally.
And go to places and not have to think about it. I mean, listen, there's going to be. Yes, there's going to be crimes everywhere. People are going to die.
Sure.
This is always going to happen. But this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is not acceptable. We can't live like this.
It is, right. Yeah. My wife, and I guess I've tried, you can't feel that way. Eventually, you do something about it. My wife and I talked about it today, is that you feel in danger at times.
The NRA knows this. They're losing their grip. It's not. There's still a lot of power, but they're losing their grip. They lost a lot of seats. The NRA.
Oh yeah.
They lost. There were people who won based on the fact that their kid was killed. There was one woman in Georgia. They were attacking her for exploiting. She's like, I freaking got in Congress because my kid was killed with a gun.
Right. Oh yeah.
Come at me. Fuck you. Yes, that is my main purpose here.
That's my shtick.
My fucking kid is dead
one-trick pony.
From a murder. I'm going to do other things, but I'm going to make sure to do this.
Right. Yeah.
I love that. They're going at, where they say, oh, you're exploiting us. I just said, fuck you.
Bring it.
Bring it, if it is affecting you personally, especially if you're going to, you just want to go to Walmart and you want to do this. Honestly, the way that probably people will win this battle against NRA and everything is with the power of the purse.
Oh yeah.
Retail. If the retailer, there are certain retailers I know that will not allow guns in the stores, at least in the open carry states that I know.
Right.
I can't speak for every, but in Texas, there's a list of them where when we're in Texas. And it's an open carry state. And it's a lot of states in the United States that are open carry.
Yeah, Florida is. I came here from Florida.
Right. So the one thing that was not funny at all, but the one thing that people brought up, they were okay, well, it's an open, this guy came and killed a bunch of people in Texas, open carry state. Where were the good guys with the guns?
Right.
And regardless, cops can't tell the difference between a good guy and a bad guy with a gun.
Right. The joke at the time, and it wasn't meant to be funny. It was an ironic joke, is that, if a Walmart full of Texans couldn't stop this guy, that's it.
And again, just to get the point across real quick, the guy in Dayton,
yes,
who killed all those people, he did it in a minute.
Oh,
the cops came that quickly and stopped him in a minute. Now imagine if the cops showed up 2 minutes later.
Well,
so this whole good guy with a gun myth, if somebody has a machine gun, regardless of, let's say, if the magical good guy with the gun shows up and takes out that person, well, that guy still killed 10 people.
Well, you're right about the starving them via the purse because Dick's doesn't sell guns anymore.
Well, they don't.
Is it Dick's? I thought
I think they still sell they don't sell certain guns anymore.
They might sell hunting rifles.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
but some other stores stopped doing it. Well, I'm saying there was pressure on somebody. They showed a guy going to Starbucks, which I thought Starbucks was, and maybe that's just it depends on the retail, specific Starbucks, but if you pressure him and say, listen, I am never going to an establishment if I see some Nimrod with an open carry, with an exposed rifle on his back, unless he's a fucking cop.
Right.
I will. If I walk in and see a guy like that, guess what? I'm walking the fuck out, and I'm going to some other business.
Oh yeah. I don't.
And if you tell retailers, if you tell them, because if they put a sign up, most people, not all of them, but most people who are law-abiding, the good guys with the guns, they won't go in. If the gun is that important to them, if they need to have that on their back.
Oh, yeah.
Because their life is constantly in danger.
Right.
Or they'll realize, okay, I'm going to bring it with me.
Yeah.
So if you pressure retailers, if people get their voices out, I think this is like the beginning stage. This is part of the backlash, the cultural backlash, where people like starve them.
Yeah.
That's how, boycotts work. They do. And if you like, I don't feel safe in this retail anymore. Walmart knows now.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see people like, I mean, the problem is at 4 a.m, someone's going to need something from Walmart.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, but you're right.
But if you starve, if they just, and the thing is, companies, they pay attention to just like a little incremental.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they see a 0.25% go down, they'll be like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, grocery stores in particular have real tight margins. They make very little profit off each other.
I remember when I was a kid working for a grocery store and they just watching this video.
Right.
They're like, by the time everything's done, we just made $0.25.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you guys in business?
Right. Well, I think I watched the same series of videos, and their basic argument is like, look, if someone shoplifts one Snickers bar, we got to sell like 70 Snickers bars to make up for the loss on that one Snickers bar. There was like a whole big. So yeah, like. If you are in a store and they're cool with people carrying around assault rifles, then steal a Snickers bar and head on out.
Yeah.
Right?
Or don't shop in there.
Yeah.
Don't walk in. If I walk
don't
in and
shop.
I see... Yeah.
Shop.
Yeah, no, don't make that. No, we're not doing that. I'm just saying, like, if I walk into a store and so that I literally would leave my cart and get the fuck out. I'll come back later.
I would.
Like, listen, son, or whoever I'm with, or by myself, I don't care. We're not going to be here. And I would tell the manager.
Yeah.
This is why. I would turn into that meme.
I would like to speak to your manager.
I would. No, I'm serious. And if you tell like a regular employee, they ain't going to give a shit.
No.
If you tell a manager, though, they give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
They'll give a shit like crazy.
Yeah.
And if they don't give a shit, well, guess what? That manager ain't going to be that long.
Their whole existence is predicated on giving a shit specifically about what customers say about any nonsense that's going on in the store.
And if they have to smile and nod.
Yes.
So, I remember when that guy shot a bunch of people in Kroger, and it was like last year before the election.
Yeah.
It was like it was like he got mixed in with, it was around the same time with the pipe bomber and the other guy shot the temple. And he's kind of like one of those stories that got missed, but he like specifically went to Kroger to kill African Americans.
Yes.
And he killed a couple, and it was at Kroger. And Kroger's on the list of stores that supposedly allows people to walk around with guns. Again, pressure retailers. I mean, depending on the state, some states are not open carry, but the open carry states, if you want to live like this, that's how you get your voice. Because in the end of the day, we're a capitalist society.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? Money. What do they say?
Money
walks and bullshit talks, or I don't know.
Bullshit.
It doesn't
talks,
matter.
Money walks.
It's all about fucking money.
Right.
And if you starve someone of their money, even just a tiny percentage, and it's based on the fact that I'm not going to shop here because I don't feel safe, because you're letting good guys walk around with their bazookas or whatever.
Right.
So
adds up.
Yeah, so that's just my little advice. All right, well, good times.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, I don't know. We're gonna put this up next week.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a raw one. I mean, we may get it up sooner, but yeah.
All right. And I'm sorry about the cat in the background. His name's Buddy.
Yeah. He does not give a single fuck
about anything. Shit. He just meows. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's a Maine Coon.
Maine Coon. It's tuxedo cat.
Right.
He's like 1,000 pounds. He's unnaturally large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked him up once.
Did he pull your back out?
He feels like a raccoon wearing a backpack.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And he's still going on about
that.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and Joseph K. Remember, you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, CastBox, and Podbean. So remember to like and subscribe, share, comment, leave us a basket of fruit or candy. Thank you for listening. All right, later. Bye.